Hello there. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Stratton Griffin. I'm really excited to present this presentation today. So my focus is going to be supporting culturally responsive literacy and lessons on early global civilizations. So as you can tell, my goal personally here is to become a history teacher myself in the secondary setting. So the audience is going to be ninth grade world history teachers. And I modeled that after my mentor, Dr. Russell, who I've been observing over the past few weeks. So, some of the student specific characteristics that I would like you to consider as we talk about this is that only 31% of U.S. 8th graders read at or above proficiency level entering high school. So that's something that we need to keep aware. Also, brain development continues through adolescence, so students benefit from movement and variety in instruction. So that means getting up, moving around every once in a while, and not just sticking to a lecture. So identity development is heightened, and students need opportunities to explore their values and voice in a safe environment. As we can see here, over 53% of public school students are students of color. So that just reflects the need for more inclusive content in our teaching. And then as far as the language goes, 10% of public school students are English learners, and that's according to the U.S. Department of Education, along with the other statistics that I shared as well. So for the standards here, so the World History Standard is to examine the impact of classical civilizations like Rome or Han China on modern society. So we want to connect that with what the students are experiencing today. So the ELA standard, that's AZ 910 RI.2, is determine a central idea of a text and analyze its development over the course of the text. So in order to do that, I wanted to introduce some secondary sources that I think are going to be really interesting and engaging to the students, as well as some primary sources too. So for the informational text in the paired text here, I chose Ancient Civilizations, China, by Time for Kids, which is a very engaging nonfiction text that has strong visuals and vocabulary support. So I think it pops to your eye. It's not as boring as a normal textbook that's just going to be all text with limited illustrations. I feel like illustrations really help you to connect your imagination to the topic, so that's why I chose that one. And then for the literary text, I chose The Kite Writer. So that's a historical fiction by Geraldine McCaughrean, and it's set in 13th century China with universal themes of courage, family, and honor. So I feel like that kind of puts the students in the shoes of what it would be like to live back then. It makes it more engaging, makes them easier to connect with the topic, with something that happened over 800 years ago. So these texts also they avoid cultural bias, they align with student interests, and respect diverse identities. This connects with Christian values like human dignity, justice, and empathy, which I also connect myself to Genesis 1:27, which states that we are all made in the image of God, meaning that we all have a high value no matter what race or gender or background we come from. So my strategy to support literacy and build community. So the strategy is to use a vocabulary concept map followed by think, pair, share to explore key terms like dynasty or Silk Road. This builds academic language for English language learners and native speakers alike. It also promotes peer learning and respectful dialogue, which is key to community building. So reflecting on some of the personal bias. So we need to examine our own personal biases. Where do we come from? What are the things that we see to avoid unintentionally excluding or even misrepresenting students in our class? This involves cultural responsive teaching also increases engagement and achievement, especially for students of color. Uh, Christian educators are called to serve with justice, humility, and compassion, which creates learning spaces where all students feel seen and valued. So integrating a Christian worldview into my classroom. So I think that starts with what I talked about before with Genesis 1:27, respecting human dignity. Then having the compassionate service to get down on their level, to humble yourself, to accept that you don't know everything. And then finally, justice and caring for the common good of those around you. So, by honoring student identities and creating safe, inclusive learning environments, we glorify God through our work and support human flourishing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time.